All right, it's less than 4 months to the 2023 general election, and the presidential candidates are traveling the length and breadth of the country to secure the support of Nigerians. For the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, endorsements are pouring in from all corners. The latest is from the quarters of Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere. A few days ago, the group endorsed Bola Tinubu in Ondo State during his visit to Pa Reuben Fasoranti. Now, the outcome of that visit has been the topic of discourse in the political sphere. Joining us via Zoom is APC Chieftain Senator Anthony Adefuye. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Right. Let's begin with understanding the situation with the Afenifere group as it stands, stemming from the endorsement of the APC presidential candidates. Papers are reporting this morning that the group is split as a result of that. Is that the case?
Well, the group has been split before, but it's the other group now that has endorsed. So the two groups have endorsed actually Bola Tinubu, and it was if you look at the people who were present that day, you will find that these are the real Afenifere people. So the whole Afenifere has endorsed Bola Tinubu, and I'm very happy that this was done. Olufalaye, like the leader of the Afenifere himself, he was there.
So,
and the breaking news yesterday was that the acting Afenifere leader is no more acting. Baba has taken over. He has taken over himself as now the leader of Afenifere. So that's a good news, and that's a good thing to hear.
What happened that?
Hello.
Yes. What is
Hello?
what? Hello. Can you hear us, sir? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What is the?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. What is the issue with Pa Adebanjo that he has become an outlier with your group?
I don't know. I don't know. I cannot say. But you know, Pa Adebanjo is 93 or 90 or 94. So you can expect some loss of memory or whatever be the case. But if you can see yourself that the leader of the Afenifere is blessing and endorsing Ashwaju in front of the whole world, and that is good enough for all of us. I don't want to speak about Baba because he's 93, he's 94, and he must be given his due respect. So let's talk this morning on the endorsement. You can see all those people behind him, that picture. They were all present in that meeting that endorsed actually Bola Tinubu. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you, distinguished
Hello?
senator. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So if you look at that picture in front of you where it was endorsed, you will find out all those people you saw behind him were all present. So which means that the real Afenifere has endorsed Bola Tinubu as the next as the presidential candidate of APC and representing all of us in APC and not a faction.
All right, Senator.
Is 93, 94. So let's give him that benefit of doubt.
All right. Senator, some people have said that this situation that could lead to the split of the Afenifere, respected Afenifere group, could have taken a dimension of the Arewa Consultative Forum when they gave room for all the candidates to come address them. So the issue of endorsement wouldn't even come now. It would be much later. That's their own style, the way they did it. All the candidates or major candidates came to address them at different times. And they said if Afenifere had done that, it would have prevented a situation where maybe a group is endorsing a candidate and then another is endorsing another candidate. What do you say?
No, you will see that Ayo Adebanjo had already endorsed Obi before this meeting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, so there was no need, calling everybody again, since one faction has already endorsed one. And we just wanted to tell the whole world that, look, the Afenifere is behind the Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The whole Yoruba land, they are behind Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And that was just what we wanted to tell the whole world, and not to say that one man and giving the endorsement. Even those who were in other parties, you can see they were all present there. Some of them are in SDP, some of them even PDP, but they all came together to say we endorse Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as the presidential candidate of APC.
Now, there are
and
those
the next president of Nigeria.
Right. There are those who said that what you just mentioned, talking about other parties being a part of what we saw in Akure, is not politically tactful or wise. How do you address that?
I don't know where you got that your own vocabulary, but what I know is that the Afenifere, the authentic Afenifere have endorsed Bola Tinubu. We are all there. The whole world witnessed it. Baba Fasoranti, in fact, and blessed him, not only endorsed him, he also blessed him that by the grace of God, he will become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023.
All right. Now, speaking about the blessing, how critical is a home-based approval for a politician? Because there are those who believe that without that, you are without value as a politician.
Yes, you just said it. Yoruba people said, "Ile Latin Keshorode," which means you have to start from home first. You have to get your authentication from home before you can be authenticated outside. What the signal you get from home is the signal that you get outside. So I think it's a beautiful thing. You can see it in your picture yourself that Baba Fasoranti blessed him. All of them were there. You had all of them spoke and all this, and what you've seen are the leaders, authentic leaders of Afenifere, and nothing else. So he has gotten that endorsement, and we're all happy it happened. Afenifere has never been so united before, but on this particular occasion, they were so united that they all gave endorsement to Bola Tinubu.
Yes, why do you think that Ayo Adebanjo endorsed a different candidate? And who are the people behind Ayo Adebanjo in the Southwest? Because we saw a constellation of Yoruba leaders, with Asiwaju in Ondo. We had Bayo Lawal from PDP. We had Olufalaye, who has been with SDP for a while. We even had the military there. People are not even aligned, like General Alani Akinriade and so on. So who are the people? Who are the people with Ayo Adebanjo? Is it just a Lone Ranger?
Yes, Adebanjo, as I said, is 93, 94, and he is alone on this particular instance. He's alone on this particular instance. I don't know why, but it may be a personal vendetta against Tinubu, maybe personal. But what I know is that the whole of Afenifere, they have never been so united, and they have come together so united to endorse him for that presidential seat. And I pray that God will bless him and hear the prayer of everybody that Bola Tinubu becomes the presidential candidate and also becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, inshallah.
All right, Senator, what do you make of Pa Adebanjo's argument? Because he was talking from the perspective of the fairness and equity in endorsing Peter Obi of the Labour Party. He was seeing it from what he said, he was seeing it from the perspective of Nigeria needs to make considerations to be fair to all sides and so on. What do you make of that argument, though?
You know, I think it's a faulty argument. As I've always said, we have never, a Yoruba man has never been president in Nigeria before. If you remember, Jonathan, Nnamdi Azikiwe became president, he's an Igbo man. And then Jonathan Azikiwe became president, an Igbo man. Ogbuefi Obasanjo became president. His father is an Igbo man who came from Anambra State. The only Yoruba man who would have been president was MKO, who won the election but was not allowed to become president. So actually, it's fair that it's the turn of the Yoruba people this time to be president.
Why do you call him Ogbuefi? Why do you call him Ogbuefi Obasanjo? I never heard that before.
Well, he's the son of, his father became the Obi of Onitsha. So he's a prince on his own. He's a prince on his own.
So, Senator, can you, because this, a lot of people might argue this out in different ways. Are they proof that the General Obasanjo or former President Obasanjo is not a Yoruba man? Because he says that he's a Yoruba man.
He didn't say he's not a Yoruba man. His mother is a Yoruba man from Owu, but his father is from Anambra State. That's what you're saying. Nobody is saying he's not a Yoruba man. But he grew up with his mother, so he was more in Owu than in Anambra State. But his father is from Anambra State.
Wow.
All right. Yes, interesting perspective there. But then you mentioned earlier that Afenifere has never been disunited at making a choice of perhaps a presidential candidate and blessing him as such. And I am wondering what informed this unity for the group such that they all rallied around the presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. What it is they saw?
Well, I think it must be due to his performance, his past performance. When he was governor of Lagos State, all of us remember how he transformed Lagos. And since then, Lagos has always expanded both economically, socially, whatever way it is. Lagos is, in fact, it's the state to beat in Nigeria today. So this was the man who started the whole process of really improving Lagos, economically and so on and so forth. And I think everybody remembers and always think that he can do it if given the chance to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I assure you, Bola Tinubu, I think he's a God-given politician. Something is peculiar about him. Anytime he ventures, he wins. Anytime he ventures, he develops. Anytime he ventures, he acquires. So something special about him that is not clear. I think the God has given him that grace and that opportunity, and I think Nigeria should seize that opportunity to use that potential to develop Nigeria, to unite Nigeria, and to make Nigeria great.
All right, Senator, before we take the next question, we need to quickly go on a commercial break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Before we went on the break, we were speaking with an APC Chieftain, Senator Anthony Adefuye, on the endorsement of the APC presidential candidate by the Afenifere Yoruba Sociocultural group. And before we went to the break, Sam, you wanted to ask a question.
Yes, there has been a sense among some writers recently that reflected a view of Pa Adebanjo as a traitor of the Afenifere and Yoruba land. And I refer to the book by BC Akonde, Participations, in which he said that after Bola was jailed in the military era, that Obasanjo and Olaniwun Ajayi actually worked against them. And so when he had a dinner, when Awolowo was having dinner with Olaniwun Ajayi and Pa Adebanjo, Bola walked in and he asked him to sit down, and Bola said he wouldn't. And this is reflected in the latest book by Dr. Gumbi, in which he recalled what happened. I want to just go through it quickly. Say, I was asked him to join them for dinner when he sighted both men. Quote, Uncle Bola looked across the table, and as he sighted some of the seated guests, he stiffened himself up in anger and refused the offer of a seat from Chief Awolowo. He bellowed and screamed relentlessly, my leader, I will not sit down with you for dinner with these, pointing across the table, traitors. No, I will not do that. These are traitors, my leader. They should not be here with you. The words exploded on and on and on. Has this been a sense that members of Afenifere had of Ayo Adebanjo?
Well, Hello?
Hello, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
Yeah. You read it yourself. Almost everything there was correct. At the time, that was what happened. I think you remember during the case, Ayo Adebanjo and Olaniwun Ajayi, I think they were a member of the board of great insurance company or so, and they went and gave evidence against the action group at that time that they actually donated money for the campaign, something like that, something that happened. We were young people at that time, so I can't remember, but I'm sure the narration in that book, which you read, is very, very correct, absolutely correct. Yeah, if Baba Awolowo were to be alive, I'm sure those two people will not occupy those positions they have occupied since his demise. They won't at all. Nobody will. Nobody will recognize them as leaders of Yoruba people. But I haven't said that. I think bygone is bygone. Let us try and erase those bad blood from all of us. Let's come together as Yoruba people, and then let's move forward. We need to defend this race. This race, we've suffered a lot since the period of MKO, and I think this is time for us to be compensated for MKO.
All right, Senator, the endorsement of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu by Afenifere, of course, there's some level of, one would expect that there will be some expectation if Tinubu becomes president. What is that? What does the Afenifere expect Asiwaju to do for them if he becomes president?
You know, the Afenifere, they have their 4 cardinal programs: free education at all levels, free housing for all, job for everybody, and so on and so forth. Afenifere has always been very consistent on what they want, and it's not what they want for themselves, it's what they want for the people, and not only for Yoruba people, for all the people of Nigeria. They have always wanted this 4 cardinal program: free education at all levels, housing for all, food for all, and then job for all. They've always been very, very consistent with these 4 cardinal programs, and I'm going to try as much as possible to ensure that we implement these programs come 2023, when actually becomes president. That is the only thing that Afenifere want from you. I don't think we want any other thing.
Now, you mentioned that bygone should be bygone, and how to forge ahead should be the focus as it stands. But reacting to yesterday's move by the group, Pa Reuben has said that he cannot be removed, that Pa Fasoranti does not have the constitutional right to remove him, so to speak. And I'm wondering, with this stance, how the group is looking at forging ahead or resolving this matter.
Well, I won't. The internal working of Afenifere, I won't know too much about it, because I have not been a participator in the Afenifere affairs for a long time now. But on what we were told, he was only acting. If you are acting for somebody and he says, okay, I'm now ready to take over, I think that should be no problem at all.
Okay.
That should be no problem. He's always been acting according to them. And now they have said is that we are now ready to take over from you. They didn't depose him. The authentic leader just said he's now ready, he's now well now, it's okay, and he's ready to perform his duties. That's all that is happening.
You said that the grounds of Ayo Adebanjo may be personal. Do you have any insight into that?
Well, I don't know, because what I know is that if you're a leader, before you come out with such pronouncement, there must have been a meeting. And the meeting, it is at that meeting that you will make the pronouncement, you will make the pronunciation. But this was the case where he did the announcement alone on his own. There should have been a prior meeting, and that meeting must be in attendance when the announcement is being made, just as it was done in Akure last time, when they were endorsing most of the Afenifere leaders were present, and when the announcement was made.
All right, Senator, you said that there are 4 cardinal points that Afenifere expects Asiwaju to handle or look into, and these have been the 4 cardinal points that Afenifere always puts forth, and that's the issue of creation of jobs, free education for all, food for all, and housing for all. But beyond all that, how is Afenifere engaging state governors within the Southwest to ensure, because if you look at these things, They are all on the concurrent lists that the state governors can also handle. So how is Afenifere engaging state governors in the Southwest to ensure that some of these things are looked into, even beyond whoever becomes president, before he handles that?
Look, I don't want to speak on behalf of Afenifere because I'm the Secretary General of the Yoruba Unity Forum, which is quite different from Afenifere. I was present in Akure because I was in the entourage of Bola Tinubu. That's why I was present in Akure. So I won't want to dangle into the internal matters as much as possible. I will only try to tell you little that I know, but I won't be able to tell you the nitty-gritty of their disagreement.
All right. I want to believe that you have looked through the manifesto of the APC presidential candidate, and there are those who are questioning if really it protects the interest of the Yoruba race.
Well, I think that manifesto is vast. It's not like the simple one of 4 cardinal programs that you can really say, But if you look at the manifesto itself, it's a book on its own. It's a book on its own. And one need to really sit down and study it. But I assure you, being an Afenifere man himself, I'm sure the 4 cardinal programs must have been embedded in his manifesto. The only thing which is new is the restructuring, which Afenifere people have always clamored about. They've always clamored that they want restructuring. That's the only new thing that I know that Afenifere has always fought for, in addition to the 4 cardinal programs.
Senator, the thing about politics is that it has to work on coalitions. You have the Yoruba Unity Forum that you're secretary of, and there are other groups in Yoruba land that are also working, towards this campaign. But we know too that restricting the work of even your groups to Yoruba land may not be sufficient. Are you building coalitions across the country, whether it's Afenifere, whether it's your group, whether it's other groups? And how is that, what's the sense of how that is working?
Yes, we have, there are times that most of these groups, you all come together all over the country when we have a common agenda, to execute that agenda. We've done that several times. Afenifere, Ohaneze, Yoruba Unity Forum, and so on and so forth. Several times we've all come together to ask for one thing or the other, either for restructuring, either so many things. We have always come together with other groups all over the country. Yoruba Unity Forum, Afenifere, Ohaneze, Northern this, Northern that. There are so many groups that are now in operation.
All right, Senator, you talked about restructuring, and it's part of what Afenifere and Yoruba people always expect and look forward to. But the idea of restructuring has generated a lot of conversation and even debate across the country at different times. Now, I wonder if the restructuring, the dimension of the restructuring that the Yoruba race holds or expects is the same kind of restructuring that every other part of Nigeria also expects. Because when the conversations come up, people talk about what dimension of restructuring, what kind of, or what area of restructuring?
You know, in 2014, there was this national conference. And
Go ahead, Senator. We can hear you.
okay. In 2014, there was this national conference where all of us, all the groups, Afenifere, Yoruba Unity Forum, all of us were assembled in one hall, and we unanimously agreed at a lot of things, restructuring and so on and so forth. I hope one day the government will look at that report of the national conference and try as much as possible to find a way to make sure that it's enacted. Once you can do that, you find that there will be peace all over the country, because all of us came together. All of us came together. And only things that we agreed unanimously that were put down as agreed. I will plead that the government should look at the conference. So we should look at the report of that conference and try as much as possible to enact it. I think that will bring succor to almost parts of the country.
All right. Now, recently, the APC presidential candidate met with some key players in the economy, the private sector. And, you know, he was sharing his plans with them. And in the process, he talked about looking at bringing about the fourth industrial revolution. And he spoke about also growing the GDP double digit. I wonder what you make of some of the things he has mentioned with regards to addressing our economy.
Well, I think when it comes to industrial revolution, we should give kudos to Bola Tinubu. If you know the Lekki port is one of the biggest in Sub-Saharan Africa. It is brain work. Now we're going to have another big airport in Lagos State. You know, so many industrial technological revolution. Even though he's an accountant, it's always, you find Bola Tinubu in front. He's always looking for a way to make life simple for the people. And I think in Lagos State, we have benefited a lot from this industrial revolution. If you listen to the meeting of the APC in Lagos State yesterday, you will see, if you listen to the governor of Lagos State, you see the analysis he made about what Ashwajo had started and completed in Lagos State. If you remember, there was a time the ocean was really trying to take over Victoria Island. And he even fought the ocean, and he receded the ocean back. The country state that they even built a new city on the ocean himself. So Ashwajo Bola Tinubu is an industrial revolutionist. He's always looking for something that is beyond the comprehension of an ordinary man. So I sincerely believe that he's capable of doing a lot of industrial revolution in Nigeria that will make Nigeria better. I think if Ashwajo Tinubu is president for 4 years, Nigeria will be the country to beat in Africa.
What would you describe as the chief talent or asset of Ashwajo Bola Tinubu?
Now, one of the challenge is that he listens to people. Ashwaju Bola Tinubu can work for 16 hours, behind his table, listening to people and trying as much as possible to make use of what the contribution of each person is. He doesn't on his own think that he's a giant and it is what I believe in that must be done. He is always trying to put knowledgeable people around him, and then whatever the decisions they make comes out as Bola Tinubu. I think that's a very good trait for a man who wants to become a president. He listens to all, He opens his doors to all. And therefore, when he speaks the mind of all.
All right, and that would be a fine place to leave the conversation this morning. APC Chieftain Senator Anthony Adefuye, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you. God bless you.
And you too, sir.